Well, we got a 4-game Friday going on right now. First up was the Astros and White Sox here going on right now in the second inning. Yeah, it's tough to see here. Yohan Moncada just slid into trying to get a foul ball pop up. He slid in, just slid down and went into the wall. He was down for a little bit, but he got up. He looks like he's good now, but that looked scary at first. I thought maybe he was hurt, but he looks good now. He's up and staying in the game. So let's see here what goes on. They can stay in the game if he goes with the bat next in his next at bat. But here we got 1-0 White Sox.
That's a 90 feet that was earned and won. Yeah. It brings up 37-year-old Kielar. Had a ball here in 2020 in the 6-game season, which is 242. Bounces back to lead the American League at 319. This year, he was already a big deal star in Cuba when he arrived with the Astros 5 years ago at age 32 and embarked on a very successful major league career in America.
Double. Nope.
They get the first and second base, but they can't double Gurriel up. What they're going to ask now, second base was thinking themselves, should I throw that ball to first base first? Because the base runner had to honor whether he was going to catch it in the air. That's what they're. In the end of the day, you're going to walk back and go, you get a look at the runner first. We have a hold up. You could have thrown that ball to first base first, then went back to second. Is that being picky, Jim?
Not at all. Think about what it points out. This baseball is a slow-paced game. When you're in the field, things happen on the top. You got to think ahead.
He goes to first base there. He's got the double play.
That was a good pick. No question about it. Here's Correa. That's why when you bring up Pete Rose's name, didn't have power, didn't have speed, didn't have arm, didn't have range. He had such a
Drop your questions below as I, analyze these games here. First up now, obviously the White Sox and Astros game going on right now. 1-0 White Sox here in the second inning. It's a scary incident a moment ago with Yohan Moncada diving into the wall. He was trying to get a foul ball, but he was able to get up. Now he's back. He's able to stay up and stay in the game. So that was a scary moment, though. It's not. I don't like seeing guys like that go down. So hopefully he's able to stay in the rest of the game. Coming up to bat his next time up. And Giolito's looked really good. He's looked really sharp after the White Sox got the early lead in the first inning. He just looks filthy. He struck out the side in the first inning, so he's been really good. Here in the second inning, he's got the guy at first, Correa up. So now he's getting into some trouble though. 3-1 count on Correa.
Yeah, you don't have to tell your infield mate, hey, you messed up there. It's like they're going to go, yeah, I know. But believe me, there'll be a conversation.
full count out of Correa, who at age 27 has a big payday coming. It's almost seemed like a foregone conclusion that this would be his last season in Houston. But recently, the owner, Rick Frank, says we'll be in that bidding war up to a point. We'd love to keep him.
Good at bat here from Correa, fouling off another pitch. He's really fighting up there. Giolito's giving him everything. He's just fouling everything off. Quite the battle.
Getting guys home from third base with less than 2 outs. As Dusty put it yesterday, yeah, we can hit the long ball, but sometimes we just stack pennies and they add up.
Dusty looks like he's going with. He went with that Hawaiian mask today. It looks different. Didn't wear a mask yesterday. He was wearing a mask today, but it's a little Hawaiian look. Yeah, well, some trouble here for Giolito. It's walked Correa. Really battled up there, and now first and second with 1 out. Some trouble. I mean, this lineup is scary. It's one of the most dangerous in the league. I mean, the White Sox is you can't scoff at that either. But Astros, even with the 1-0 lead, I mean, even with any kind of lead, it's not gonna be safe with this Astros lineup, no matter who's on the mound. So we'll see.
You basically tell the infielder where he's going to third or second on the stolen base. And people say, well, why is that important? Well, if the other team knows you're throwing the ball to second base.
There we go. Kyle Tucker with the base hit. Here comes Gurriel around. He's scores 1-1. All tied up. Now we got ourselves a ball game. And it's still just 1 out. He's up to 33 pitches, so he's got to get out of this with just the one. Can't allow a big inning to come over here. If the Astros get the lead, if they get a big lead, it's going to be it. Because yesterday they got the big lead early, and that was all she wrote. So he's got to limit the damage. Drop some questions below, as I said before. If you got any questions about who I have for these series, who I have winning the World Series, anything about the season, about the off season, even going into the free agency and everything. Anything you want to know, I'll ask. I'll answer. You can find me on Twitter at Alex Kielar. And as always, find Primetime Sports Talk articles on primetimesportstalk.com. And you can find all of our socials down in the description of this video. And I'll be having some guests here in a little while to also join me to break down these games. So that'll be exciting throughout the day. We have some guests. Oh, man. Ball gets away, second and third now. Runners move up. See here, is it a wild pitch? I'd call that a wild pitch. No, maybe not. I think that's probably a pass ball. That's off his glove, off Grandal's glove. No, it's ruled a wild pitch. That's something Grandal's got to block that, though. It was right off his glove. He was in front of it. He's got to block that. So now it's a big situation here with McCormick up. He's in a big spot, has a chance to get another run across with a sack, putting the ball in the air. If he gets a sack fly. And it's Chase McCormick, first career postseason at bat for him. So that's definitely a huge moment. If he can scratch another run across, that would be huge. Just like Jake Myers yesterday, first posting at bat, he got a hit in his first at bat and drove in on a run. So same thing can happen with McCormick here. First pitch up there. Oh, that that next pitch, not 1-1 pitch, he got up. It looked like he was right on it, but fouled it away.
With Makata rolled up onto the grass. Really good observation, Tom. One steps out. First base is open. But Kielar is ahead on the count, 1-2. Martin Maldonado, who hit only 172 for the year, is on deck.
This is somebody that it's not in the big leagues, but they play the infield halfway. That's usually a manager can't make up his mind. Trying to find a cover himself. Either in or you back. Make up your mind. Corners are in, infield's back.
Oh boy! Oh, I thought that was out. But he got another run in. Correa's coming home. Oh, that was a close play though. Oh man. Grindal drops it, but even if he caught that, he would have been safe. He was sliding in there as the ball was coming in. So another run here. McCormick gets the sac fly. 2-1 Astros. But that's huge. That's still very, very huge for Giolito just to get that, because he avoids the really big inning with that, because now if he gets the next guy out, he's out of the inning, obviously. But out of the inning with just 2 runs, it's definitely a lot better than having it be 3-1 or 4-1 or whatever, because I thought that was gone off the bat. Oh, maybe not, though. I think he might have had him if Grandal catches that. Maybe not, but it would have been close. Oh, here's Maldonado coming up. He drives it deep. Oh, God, that might be – oh, no. Running catch by the right fielder, Engel. That looked dangerous off the bat, too, but it's Giolito. He limits damage to 2 runs, so the White Sox are still in this game. Obviously, it's only the second inning. It's only after 2, I mean. But definitely don't want anything more than just 2 runs that inning. So White Sox come up to bat and can do some more damage like they did in the first inning. But they easily could have had more runs in that inning, too. But they had guys on, but only got 1 across.
We're not just about hair. We're also about convenience. SportClips app. Check in, track your arrival time, get heads up alerts. Why is that important?
Because guys don't like to wait.
Convenience.
It's your body's natural way of cooling itself down. Then condensation is a beater's natural way of saying, drink me.
Introducing the new City Custom Cash Card, a different kind of card that rewards Rashida where her spending is trending. Just ask overly confident DIY Rashida.
Wait, this is the right wall?
Or last-minute gift shopping, Rashida.
I'm putting a bow on it.
Even sneaking away from a vacay, Rashida.
This way?
From home improvement, drugstores, select travel, and more, earn 5% cash back that automatically adjusts to your top eligible spend category, up to $500 spent each billing cycle. Alexis Diaz.
Just to look forward to some of the other games here. The next game will be coming up here at 4:30, a little after 4:30. 4:37, the Brewers and the Braves, game 1 of their series. We got a huge pitching matchup in that one. Corbin Burns, who's probably going to win the Cy Young, or at least finish top 3, against Charlie Morton, who had another great season for the Braves on a 1-year contract, and now he got an extension into next year. But that game is definitely going to – it looks like it's going to be a pitcher's duel. It's going to be a close game. I think that they're both going to just throw up zeros for the first few innings, and then the bullpen's going to be a factor. And I think the Braves bullpen is better than the Brewers, especially with the Brewers being without Devin Williams. So I think that's going to be big. I think that the Braves are going to take this one. They're going to steal game one. They have to steal at least one of these first two games in Milwaukee to have a chance at winning the series, and I think they will do it here in this first game. I think it's going to come down to a late hit in the game against the bullpen, Brewers bullpen. Oh, man. Oh, he's safe, though. He beat it out. That was a great play by Correa. But Tim Anderson beat it out. Anyway, yeah, that matchup is going to be huge. I think that the Braves steal the first game of the series. I have the Brewers ultimately winning the series in 4 games. I think the Braves win this one, but then the Brewers come back and win the next 3. But if it goes the way I think if the Braves win this game, they definitely have a chance of winning the series, obviously. But if they don't win this first game or steal this first game, I think their chances are definitely slim. I don't see them winning the next one. I don't see them winning. Maybe they will. I mean, they obviously have a better chance, but they're not going to. I mean, they'll obviously still have a chance, but they just don't see it happening if they can't steal this first game. Especially if they don't steal one of the first 2, obviously. But then coming up at 7 o'clock, a little after 7 o'clock, we have Game 2 of the Red Sox-Rays series. Got Shane Baz throwing for the Rays up against Chris Sale of the Red Sox. So that's a game the Red Sox have to have. They can't go down 2-0. They cannot go down 2-0 with their ace on the hill. So they got to win this one. Shane Baz is a very, very good young pitcher, and he's had a great season. But the rookie pitcher on the mound, their offense has got to go in there swinging and get some runs early, because yesterday just had no offense at all, and they got to do something with that. But if they're going to win the game and win the series, because the Rays' offense is just way too good. If they're not going to score, they're not going to have a chance. And then the final game of the day is Dodgers-Giants, Game 1 of their series. First time they're meeting up in the postseason. It's going to be an electric series. It's going to be a great series. It's going to be probably the best series out of these 4 out of these 4 division series that we got. And we got Walker Buehler, the ace of the Dodgers, pitching Game 1. He's had another great year. Going to probably be in the Cy Young voting. I think he's probably going to be top 3, top 4. I don't think he's going to win, but he will be up in the voting. And he's facing off against Kevin Gausman. It's a great year for the Giants. So that's going to be another good matchup. I think the Dodgers will win the series. The Giants, it'll take all 5 games, though. The Giants are going to go. It's going to be a dogfight in that one. I think that's probably going to be the closest series we have of these 4 series. Because I think that one goes 5, but the rest are not going to go 5. I think I don't know. The Houston White Sox series has the best chance of going 5, but I think Houston's going to wrap it up in 4 at the least if they don't sweep, depending on what happens in this game, obviously, Game 2. Because I think the Rays are going to just walk. I think they're going to sweep the Red Sox. They're going to walk all over them because they did in Game 1. I don't think anything's going to change. Even with Chris Sale, I think their offense is too good. They're just going to pounce. Brewers and Braves could end up being closer than I think, but like I said, the Braves definitely have to grab the first game with Charlie Morton on the hill if they're going to win the series. I think that goes 4 if they don't win. But if they win this first game, they could end up maybe winning another one, and it goes 5. Because they could certainly, if they win this game in Milwaukee, they can certainly not win one of the games at home in Atlanta. But you never know. It's obviously the postseason. Nobody knows anything. So we're always in for good surprises. So I'm excited to see what happens. But now we got the White Sox here, first and second with no outs in the top of the third. They're definitely going to be in a good situation here. Jose Abreu at the plate at a 1-2 count. So let's see what happens here. I think they're going to put some more runs up on the board here, at least tie the game. But it's definitely a good situation. Jose Abreu, I think he's going to have a series starting right here. He held up. Yes, sir, he did. Swing and a miss. Nasty slider by Valdez. Look at this fucking Wi-Fi. Let's see.
Pitch on the signature pitch. There again, you're going to see the step and look at the rotation on that ball. Of course, it's a lot of hype when you hear 2,800 RPMs. That ball only rotated about 15 times. For a pitcher to hold, but put it in that great rotation.
You know, those guys with a real good curveball, you can hear it.
Yeah.
You can hear it. I mean, Donnie Cooper, the pitching coach for the White Sox before this year and before last year, had the best curveball, one of the best I've ever seen. You could hear it. He'd sit in the dugout just popping it. It'd come out of the hand, you could hear the skin.
0-1 now to Grandal, who was hit by a pitch in the first.
Come on, Grandal. Come on. You got to get at least one run in here. You got to get a base hit. Oh, little chopper back to Valdez. Oh, throws a sec. Oh, my God. He just grounded to a double play. Wow. First and second with no outs, and they get nothing. Jesus.
Every number tells a story. This is the reign of an empire. This is witnessing a new day. This is the breaking of a curse. Now, numbers will tell stories of the impossible and the improbable.
Drop your questions below. If you have any questions about it, whatever. Who I have when I'm winning even talking about some of the awards, MVP, Cy Young, any of that stuff you can ask too. I'll give you that.
Jerry, it's a long season. How do you unwind? Well, I grab a Corona, go on, and I watch football. And that is it.
I can turn anyone into a beach bum. I bring families together for a living. I make memories of people I don't know yet. I know this view is too good not to be shared. I am a verbal host. How special is this team?
Man, as much as it hurt, that Field of Dreams game, That was electric, that moment by Tim Anderson hitting the walk-off. As a Yankee fan, it hurt so much, but it was just electric. He's such a great player, and just seeing that happen, obviously as a Yankee fan, it really, really stung, but it was still a great moment for baseball in general. Because those type of moments, those are the moments that bring young kids into watching the game. Electric moments like that, where especially the way he reacted to it and jumping up and bat flip and everything. All these boomers and everything got to stop complaining about celebrating a home run. If you don't want a player to celebrate and go crazy over hitting a home run, especially a walk-off home run, then don't throw a pitch down the middle to him. Don't let him hit the home run. Don't give him a chance. It's just stupid that people are complaining about celebrations. That makes it fun. All right, this is a big inning by Kielar. He's got to bounce back and get a quick inning here. Up to 40 pitches in the third. He's got to bounce back, have a 1-2-3 inning here. At the least, not give him any runs. But 1-2-3 inning would be great.
When you're talking to infielders and evaluating, there's 3 parts of it. You got to catch the ball, you got to transfer the ball, and you got to throw the ball. That's kind of similar with pitchers.
Especially to the top of the Astros lineup. He's got to set them down, not to give them a chance to tack on some more runs.
People ask about why Derek Jeter made so many errors. I think close to 60 in Greensboro. He had a footwork problem. Once the footwork problem was solved, the rest of it came into play.
1-2 pitch to Altuve. Total foul. By the way, mentioning Giolito's big game against the Astros earlier this year, there were exactly 50 complete games in the major leagues this year, out of more than 2,400 total games.
Jim, your thoughts?
It's not the pitcher's fault. It's the way they're trained. They're certainly physically capable, but if they're not trained that way in the minor leagues, and it's 3 innings and out, they're never going to be in shape to pitch a great game very often. 2-2 Altuve.
We used to talk when we played the Astros how important their first hitter each inning was. It's like if you can get that first hitter out, and I know that's true, that ball won't be no good, but especially with these guys, because all of a sudden the wheels start turning. As soon as there's somebody out there, because very few guys get on first base and can't push the envelope on the bases.
Ooh, almost got the swing there. Now it's 3-2 count on Altuve. Thought he was going to swing. He was tempted to. Big pitch right here. Can't walk the leadoff hitter. Okada. Ooh, nice. Good play there.
You can see the way he was throwing that ball rather casually, but moving slowly. I think it's the effects of that sliding into the padded fence down left field. Notice the footwork there. Posey has plenty of time, avoids the base, off balance throw, and then kind of coasts to a stop. So now Bradley, 311 this year. Almost annually, you can put him down. There's something between 300 and 315.
Ooh, what the heck?
Demonstrative in any way, respected throughout the game, especially in his own clubhouse. Good genes with his dad being a player.
We talked about baseball player. That's the greatest athlete I picked. In our clubhouse, somebody said he's a baseball player. Brantley's a baseball player. He also has good stats. And that's a guy really trying to frame a vintage to see his frame.
All the talk around baseball these days is about velocity. And Giolito can throw hard, gets it up there in the mid-90s, but he's got that changeup and that curveball. Valdez and others, we're seeing this is kind of a breaking ball showcase in this series.
Colors last night, yesterday.
Now, Lance McCullers with that great curveball.
Oh, Brantley with the shot. Oh, man. Robert, what the hell are you doing out there? He was like in between the diving for or just letting it bounce because it was a weird route to the ball and then just let it drop and it got by him. But so now Brantley gets the second. It should have been just a single, but he just looked like he was wasn't sure if he wanted to dive or just let it bounce. And then got by. Jimenez was right there to back him up, but he still got the second. Got to make up your mind there, Jimenez. How about Michael Brantley? A 13-game postseason hitting streak. Jeez. Because, one thing is having a regular season hitting streak, but, having a postseason hitting streak for 13 games is just insane. I got to keep it up for every game. Like, that goes back to, a couple years. Oh, man, wow. So much for a quick inning by Giolito. Oh, well, Brantley holds at third, which was a good decision because he would have been gunned by Angle at the plate. But now you got first and third with one out here. Not a good situation. Right down the dick, that fastball. Not in a good situation here. Jordan Alvarez coming to the plate, who's been a monster. Hit a home run yesterday. Can't give him anything to hit here. I know it's first, but you got an open base. And it's popped up. First pitch. Wow. Big out. He didn't really give him anything to hit there because it was away on the outside corner. So popped it right up.
That's a pitcher's job right there. He's got to go over there and he can just touch one of the guys on the shoulder and then stop him. Pitcher always has a place to be when there's a ball hit to the infield. First time off. That's a pitcher's job.
Wow. Deal gets out of it. 2-1 still. big inning to get out of that.
If you're in a horror movie, you make poor decisions. That's what you do. Want to save 15% or more on car insurance? You switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Hey, I'm up.
Do do do.
At 5, MLB and FTX started calling long home runs moon blasts, and now things have gotten challenging. Well, if they can go to the moon, then so can I. The FTX app allows me to trade crypto safely.
FTX, official crypto exchange of MLB.
Armor Plus OxyClean with odor blasters. Stains are removed and odors eliminated. For deep, powerful clean. More power to you.
Morning already? Taco Bell's toasted breakfast burritos with dramatic garlic, fluffy eggs, crispy bacon, and a melted blue cheese bun, all toasted to morning perfection. You're not dreaming.
Let's see here.
Only at Taco Bell.
With early paycheck, you can get your direct deposit up to 2 days earlier. That's another reason banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than this.
Well, honey, which one are you going to open up first?
Got the middle of the White Sox order coming up here.
Even easier than that. Plus, with no
Got Jimenez, Moncada, then Vaughn. So a big chance for them to score some runs here. Tie the game back up, at least.
This is the good sound. Gale Diaz telecast on MLB Network, presented by Geico. Fourth inning of game 2. Kielar and the White Sox trail the Astros in the series 1-0, and in the game 2-1. Robert Valdez deals to Jimenez, who hits it up the middle.
Lead off single for Jimenez. Now you got to make something out of it.
It's interesting. We look back at the first 3 innings. He made a great point. If the Astros didn't make 2 the White Sox would have had 4 runs. If the White Sox didn't shift with Moncada and then Tucker, that cost them 2 runs. Well, they'll say, well, look at all the balls that he gets to that he wouldn't have, but the pop-up that he almost got injured on normally would have been caught. That guy ended up at first base, which led to the 2 runs eventually. So there's crime and punishment. There's so much. Here's something you're going to do. Here's what you're going to get. But there's a physical part of that too.
Ball 1 to Moncada, who struck out his first time.
See him lifting even when he steps out of the box. This should be your hurt that you picked up on. The body language of him is not good right now. It's not all together there physically.
Oh my God! How the it was lined right to Gurriel. He stepped on first and then tagged Jimenez going to second. Like Jesus, what?
Jimenez was stuck. Nothing he could have done about it. Gurriel is right on the bag.
My God, how did he make that play?
There's the first out. Now the force is removed.
That was insane. got a short hop and got it, and then stepped on first and got Jimenez.
Play the short hop goes to run easy play. The separators that long short hop like that, especially on this infield. I think this is the fastest, might be the fastest field, including turf in the American League for sure. See how close that is to him? It's not a scoop. That's just a pick. It's called really good hands.
Unassisted. Scoriel never relinquished the ball.
You write that down very often.
No. Wow. Well, maybe on the line drive on a hit and run. Fastball, and to your point, on front front of the open. That lineup, not only hits, but they can pick it.
And they run the base. Really good combination.
1-2 to 1. He struck out on the second.
That's a really hard play. I think I just stand at first base, hop off like you do after the ball.
Strikes out for the second.
Lead off single, and it goes for naught. Still 2-1 Houston. Jesus.
Strike. Yeah, Chevy Silverado. Check out this multiplex deal. 16 Gold Gloves, 16 career homers. The 1-2 pitch.
Yeah, I think pitchers feel they the energy you do in spring training, and then when the season starts, if you don't continue to do it as a pitcher, then all of a sudden the ball is just
How's it going, Alex?
Hey, what's up, Zach? How you doing?
Good. Tell me about the wild card game. What went wrong, man?
Just the hitting. They just didn't have anything. They, they had an offense the last time they played the Red Sox, and then all of a sudden they just against the Rays they didn't have anything. They didn't just carry it over to the postseason. So
It's a shame. I mean, I think Giancarlo, if nobody else, was looking real hot. I mean, he was scorching balls off the monster there. It's kind of a shame that just the dimensions being what they are. I think a couple more of those might have had a chance of being homers.
yeah, he's really the only one who showed up in that game, besides maybe Rizzo with the home run, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So how are you feeling about this series coming up, Brewers and Braves?
Well, it should be interesting. I mean, it should be real interesting. I think the pitching matchups, will be something to keep an eye on. I think, this is a Brewers team that has now been there and has a decent amount of playoff experience. So I think the moment won't be too big for them.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of, similar thing I think with the Yankees is the offense going to show up because the pitching's been there basically all year, even, sans now Devin Williams. But we'll see how things go today.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough pitching matchup today with the Burns and Morton. I think it's going to be close the whole way.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm just trying to see here. I'm trying to get the stream up. Doesn't look like they got pregame coverage on yet.
Okay. Have you watched any of the Astros White Sox game?
No, I haven't actually. How's that one going?
That's pretty tight right now. 2-1 Astros.
Okay.
The White Sox jumped to the lead early. They got to run one run in the first inning, and then Giolito gave up 2 in the third. The third. So.
Did you watch the NL wildcard game at all?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't tell whether that one was going 9 or 18 based on the pace, and then of course Taylor, gets the walk off.
Yeah, that was an awesome moment.
Yeah, I mean, as Brewers fans, I saw a lot of people conflicted on the timeline because there's people who don't want to root for the Cardinals under any circumstances, and then there were kind of the realists who were like, it'd be kind of nice to have the Dodgers pitching staff out of the way in the NL, but ultimately they're still alive. So if the Brewers can make it through this season, it's going to be a heck of a pitching battle. I think those are probably 2 of the best remaining staffs. I think you'd get a little contest making that argument. Just 3 deep on each side. I think at least, and the Dodgers, on a good night can run maybe a little bit deeper than that. And Brewers have had some guys step up in the 4 and 5 slot as well. So it's going to be a heck of a pitching matchup if it gets to that point.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to see what happens the rest of this postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Have definitely a lot of potential to see some really tight games down the stretch.
For sure.
I think this Brewers Braves series, it's going to be like probably the one that has all the close pitching matchups, kind of like soccer game scores, 1-0, 2-1, stuff like that.
Definitely could go that way. I am interested to see, especially with the loss of Devin Williams for the Brewers, how the late game bullpen goes. I think they got some arms to be really intrigued about. Aaron Ashby is a guy who I've kind of had on my radar for a while. Their left-hander, a rookie this year, and he's been after one start where he came in and he had some goggles on that fogged up against the Cubs, and he's had like one other kind of mediocre outing since then. And in like 30 games, he's pitched lights out, has a sub-2 ERA, just looks amazing out of the pen. So I think he has a potential to kind of be similar to like a Corbin Burns was in 2018, I want to say, when he came up and kind of came out of the bullpen. A guy who has a potential as a future starter, but could be, a big bullpen piece for the Brewers, especially without Devin Williams.
Yeah, that whole situation with Williams, that was tough to lose a guy because he punched the wall. That's not a smart decision by him.
Yeah, and people kind of rightfully making it's like, oh yeah, that's the most Milwaukee thing to ever happen is for them to finally have a World Series chance and have one of their better players kind of punch a wall and knock himself potentially out. I guess I think the surgery went well, and I think he has an outside chance of if they make it to a World Series being able to contribute. But I mean, the way I kind of think of it, and the way I've kind of see it put most eloquently, I think it was, you know, if the Brewers were relying on Devin Williams to win a World Series, like I don't think they were going to win or lose one necessarily on just on his performances.
Right.
But other guys will definitely need to step up, especially in the bullpen.
Yeah, especially like I said, with the way that this series looks like it's going to go, with the pitching being so tight, I think it's really going to come down to the bullpens. So if
Definitely.
the Braves bullpen is really good as well. So
hmm
I think I see.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
have a potential to see. I think the wild card was a good indicator of what maybe the National League and just the overall remaining playoffs will look like.
Mhm.
Just with it's just going to be whoever's bullpen kind of caves first.
Yeah. Hopefully the White Sox can steal this game here because I'd like to see a good series. I don't want to see the Astros sweep.
Yeah, I think I've kind of definitely seen the White Sox as a potential World Series contender. So it'd be kind of a bummer to see them ousted so soon.
Tough for me the series with the Red Sox and Rays because I can't really root for either one. Like
Yeah, that one where you're kind of rooting for
kind of I'm
you to
rooting
win.
for both of them to just implode, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Boy, did you see that whole Nelson Cruz thing last night hitting the I didn't read. I don't know if there are any articles explaining what exactly like is the home run rule at Tropicana or whatever. Um, but that was kind of unusual. You hit like one that goes off the roof and it's ruled a home run.
Yeah, it's like the certain rings. If you hit it off one of the rings, it's a home run, and then there was like two of the rings that are outs. If you hit it, it's an out.
Mm,
Or then there's another one I think that it stays in play if you hit it or something. Like you can still
okay.
catch. Yeah, there was one time I remember a couple years ago that one of the Yankees hit one of the rings. It came back down, and the guy caught it at shortstop, and it was an out. I was like so pissed. I was like, "What? That stadium is such a joke."
That is kind of bizarre. Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, one of the big storylines for the Brewers is obviously Willie Adames and like just the stuff that came out after he was traded to Milwaukee about him just being able to see the ball a lot better. And I think the stats really showed it. Just the impact that he had coming from Tampa Bay to Milwaukee. Like he's just making a lot more contact, seeing the ball a lot better. And yeah, I don't know how that that park doesn't sound fun for hitters, fielders, pitchers, anybody. So
No, definitely. They definitely have to move to another state. Like I don't even want to see them move to Montreal, to be honest. Like I'd rather just them move to like they're not even in Tampa Bay. They need to just go to Tampa Bay instead of being in St. Pete like they have been.
yeah, yeah,
Because
for sure.
that area is just there's really nothing there. Like they need to. 'Cause Tampa Bay has the Bucks, so they can move there and definitely get fans.
Right, for sure.
But yeah, you mentioned Willie Adames. That's been a huge trade for you guys
hmm
this year.
Yeah, I mean, just the it's kind of like an unofficial holiday for Brewers fans. I believe it was May 26th or 22nd, somewhere in there, where the Brewers picked him up, and like just the stats since then. There've just been people kind of keeping track of just how the season shifted. Both statistically and record wise, they were I think a middling team, a little bit below 500 before picking him up, and ever since they've been obviously a division contender and ended up kind of running away with the division for the most part near the end, except for the late Cardinals run. But
Mhm.
Adames has just been a firecracker for Milwaukee, and it was kind of something that our old pal Carlos Gomez told us right from the outset. He was going to be a guy that Milwaukee was going to love, and that ended up being true. And it's been quite the story of the season for the Brewers, just getting a new guy in there who shored up the shortstop position a little bit defensively, but has brought a big bat as well, and just had some real clutch hits for Milwaukee in the middle of the season when they were kind of deciding what kind of team they were going to be this year. And as a result, they were able to stay in contention around the trade deadline, pick up Eduardo Escobar and a couple other pitchers who have kind of been mediocre, but at least give the Brewers some more arms. But yeah, I mean, he's made a big impact, and if Milwaukee's going to make some noise in this postseason, I think him coming back from this late season injury that he had, coming up strong there is going to be a big part of it.
Yeah, I actually have the records right here too. 'Cause I wrote the article. I wrote a preview article on the series, and they were before the trade they were 21-23, and then they wound up finishing the season 74-44. So definitely a huge turn.
Yeah, 30 games over 500. That's pretty big. And just obviously this team is a team that's kind of been building a culture of success over the last couple of years, but there have been a lot of faces coming through in that time, and Adames is fit right into the culture and made a huge impact. So yeah, like I said, I mean, with Yelich not really ever getting back to that MVP level during the regular season, Adames has kind of been that filling guy that's still been able to generate some offense, just generate some excitement. Um, and if we don't see prime Yelich in this postseason, Adames is going to need to be an even bigger contributor, I think, for the Brewers' success. So definitely hoping that Yelich can turn it around, though.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see him return to maybe not all the way to MVP MVP the way he was a couple years ago, but if he can be half of what he was, then that would be huge.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he's been almost a non-impact against lefties, and just seems, especially I think he used to, I think, hit the breaking ball a lot better. I don't really have any statistics at my disposal, but just kind of the eye test. Just from watching games this year, it just seemed like he just could not connect for hard contact on the breaking ball. For most of the games that I was watching, and if he can find that stroke again, I know the Brewers beat writers have been all over my feed, talking about the sessions he's getting in with his hitting coach Andy Haynes. So we'll definitely see if he's able to have a breakthrough, but that just really hasn't come for him. There was kind of a stretch there, I want to say in like early September, where it was like, oh, he had like a 10-11 game hitting streak and was starting to seem like he was getting the power stroke back, but really has not gotten back, like you said, even really half to what he was. Sometimes, I mean, even for a three-hole hitter, feeling almost like a liability in there. So if he can, get back to generating some positive offense and some confidence at the plate, I think there's been a lot made about, just the postseason just being a clean slate, a new season, and I think nobody needs that more than Christian Yelich. So we'll definitely see how that pans out.
Yeah, I just gotta jump off this Brewers discussion for a second. I just in the Houston game, it was a weird play. There was a ground ball to Bregman, and he went to throw it to first, and it went right into the ground. Like he kind of just whiffed on the throw.
Oh wow! I got the TBS stream ready to go. So is that on Fox?
MLB Network.
Oh, MLB Network. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was also gonna say too with the Yelich thing, like him and Bellinger were both having rough seasons this year, and they were both MVPs. So it would be nice to see both of them kind of get out of their stride here in the.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the explainer is, especially on Bellinger's side, because I haven't watched as many of their games. But yeah, it's been kind of strange to see two. I guess the last three MVPs, or two. because Bellinger and then Yelich, um, kind of struggle so you know congruently there. It just seemed like they were both both going through the similar spats, and I don't know if it's teams pitching them different. I mean, I think in the case of Yelich, I think what I really noticed is teams seem to be really burning him inside, like just really hitting him with the inside fastball, inside breaking ball, not letting him get his arms extended, and that seemed to really be kind of disrupting his rhythm at the plate, and helping him get a jump and get around on fastballs and stuff like that. That was at least something that I seem to notice. But yeah, I mean, I think and I don't Dodgers lineup how you can pitch around anybody with how
Yeah.
how much danger they. I mean, it seems like they try to pitch around everybody, and then Chris Taylor hits a walk off home run. So, um, it's just interesting how that's played out for Bellinger. That he hasn't been able to get going.
Yeah, he did have a pretty good wild card game though. I mean, they still pitched him like he was the power hitter he used to be because he got 2 walks there,
Hmm.
2 steals, and
Yep.
a base hit. So
Yeah, stole a big base. Yeah, that was with 2 outs. Then two. I mean, that could have been
yeah,
the end of the ninth.
definitely, yeah. Well, White Sox just tied it up. Luis Robert knocks one in.
You know.
So 2-2. That's a really good game here. I mean, especially after yesterday with the Astros just took control of it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I was kind of admittedly following Thursday Night Football, so I did not even really
hmm.
did not even really get a much of a look at the. I didn't even know there was actually a game one for the NLDS going on yet because I.
Uh,
Oh yeah, because I obviously the Red Sox started too. Interesting. Yeah, we got a real barn burner going on here. First and third with 1 out.
yeah. Yeah, I like how we have on today, Friday, and then Monday we have all 4 series going on at once. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. A lot of great baseball. Just never a bad time to
Mhm.
have one of these channels on because there's going to be a lot of premier players and a lot of young talent.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Padres not making it this year after looking like world beaters early on this season?
So I was surprised by that. I never thought they would fall off like that. I mean, like I said on other podcasts I did, I thought the Giants were going to do what they did. I never thought the Giants were going to be this good.
Oh yeah, that came out of nowhere. I mean, it seemed like they were kicking the tires on guys that were good, a decade ago. Like it seems
Yeah.
like they were, winding the clock back a decade to just, pull some vintage performances out of some of these guys, some of these hitters like Longoria and stuff like that, and here they are with a great chance. I mean, if they can win that division with two of, I think it was pretty fair to call two other teams in that division kind of potential World Series favorites. Obviously, the Dodgers to repeat, and the Padres with all their young talent loaded for bear. It seemed to be honestly a two-horse race between those two, and to blow both of those teams out of the water, win the division, um, and help keep the Padres out of the playoffs. I think that's a huge testament to what this team's been able to accomplish so far this year.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to go to Gabe Kapler too. What he's been able to do as manager. I think he's
Hmm.
been a huge part of that.
Definitely.
Obviously, definitely going to win the NL MVP. I mean, not the NL Manager of the Year.
Yeah. Don't think Council gets a few votes there?
Yeah, he'll probably get votes. Yeah, I just think Kapler. I think the Brewers had expectations. The Giants just didn't have any expectations. So
Yeah, that's fair. And I think the Central was viewed as a lot weaker division. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, we got pitching change for the Astros. So White Sox got to the bullpen.
interesting. They have Verlander on the mound today, or who was on the
That
who was
was
starting?
Valdez.
Valdez. Okay.
I think Verlander's going tomorrow. I would assume.
Okay. So you've been doing a lot of these streams then, or?
Not really, not in a while. I figured for the postseason it'd be fun to do them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I did just do a podcast the other day, just a regular podcast to preview the playoffs.
Okay, I finally got some NLDS preview stuff on my TBS stream, so we're finally on the game. I was on like a Friends marathon before that.
Uh-huh. Jimmy Garcia on the mound for the Astros. It's big at bat here. Jose Abreu, first and third, 1 out.
Mm-hmm.
So got a chance to blow this open.
Yeah, talk about teams with young talent. I mean, the White Sox just with Robert and Abreu and Moncada. You just got a lot of guys that you can be real excited about if you're a White Sox fan.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so weird seeing Ernie Johnson as the lead panelist for TBS on baseball coverage. I'm just so used to him on, like, doesn't he do like TNT basketball with the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always does that, and then postseason baseball.
Mm-hmm. Not sure if he's going to call any Brewers games at least until the NLDS, or NLCS, I should say. But Brewers get kind of familiar face. Yeah, it looks like he's not on the call. I think he was on the call at the wild card game the other day. Brian Anderson is the Brewers' regular, play-by-play guy, and he gets a little TBS, experience as well during the playoffs. So if the Brewers make it far enough, maybe they get the hometown play-by-play guy on the call, which would be kind of neat.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
It's funny because he has like a completely different tone when he goes, when he goes on national broadcasts. Like he plays it much more down the middle, but like he allows himself, I think, like a lot of hometown broadcasters, to get more excited when he does just games on the Brewers network and stuff like that. But it's kind of interesting how they can just flip a switch like that.
Yeah, shows versatility.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Abreu comes through. White Sox the lead.
Wow. It is just, I gotta say, it's just been so incredible to have playoff atmospheres back. Like
Absolutely.
I'm never gonna take fans in the stands for granted again after last year. Like that just felt so empty and hollow. And even watching football games and seeing Lambeau Field full of fans and stuff like that, like it's just a far cry from what we were dealing with last year. And that makes it feel more like the playoffs when the whole crowd is hanging on every pitch. And I think it's in baseball and maybe basketball and sometimes football as well. But I think in baseball is one of those sports where like you really notice the crowd impact. I think that can be had.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
And this year we're actually going to have those home field advantages because they're fans. So, home field means a lot more than, maybe it did last year. I think we saw that reflected in the records too. If I recall, teams were playing it fairly similarly on the road as they would at home because there just was no difference in crowd noise and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it definitely plays a factor, especially like if the crowd is like chanting stuff like at a pitcher or something, like
hmm
chanting his name, because I saw that was like a factor in the wild card game with the Yankees, because Red Sox fans were chanting Cole's name. It's just like Garrett, Garrett.
yeah, yeah,
And then there
man,
was
that's tough.
I don't know if you saw, there was the video of him warming up in the bullpen, and then there were fans like just going crazy on him, like just standing
I,
over.
s- I saw the I saw the photo of the like Kermit the Frog that was like right behind him, which was kind of funny.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, those fans were being brutal. But I mean, I'm not even mad as a Yankees fan. That's part of
oh
the game.
yeah, I mean that's what makes that rivalry so good. Is
Yeah.
just like I was hoping to not see like any fist fights in the stands or anything like that,
Mhm.
which I didn't. So credit to them for that. But both teams are really into that rivalry, and it's one of the best rivalries in sports for sure. Looks like Yasmani drove in another with a sac fly.
Yeah.
Well, Garcia wasn't able to stop the bleeding. Looks like,
No.
but they're showing on the Brewers broadcast right now. They are showing Avisail Garcia, and the Brewers brought in two guys last year, which I think I said on your podcast back in the day. I thought, um, going into 2020, they were going to have a big impact. Omar Narvaez and Avisail Garcia, and I think the 60 game season really hurt their ability to adjust, and just obviously all the COVID concerns and stuff like that. But in their first full season, both have just been huge. I mean, I think both made the All Star team, and Garcia with a career high 29 home runs this year.
Mhm.
Like, both of those guys have been a huge part of the offense, and I think, again with Yelich not really being himself, like and missing a little bit of time due to injury and stuff like that. Garcia's been that huge guy to step up in the outfield, and Narvaez has picked up a little bit of the slack offensively as well, just coming from the left side of the plate. So those guys, those acquisitions from 2 years ago, have been really paying off this year, and that's been, I think, a big reason for the Brewers' offensive success as well. Jorge Soler is batting leadoff for the Braves. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's done it a couple times this year.
Hmm. He doesn't really strike me as your consummate leadoff hitter. I mean, the Brewers, had a corner outfielder who kind of had more power than speed, and Corey Hart bat leadoff for a while. But Jorge Soler doesn't really strike me as your, on base champion. But he can start one with a bang. Catch a fastball up and knock one out, and you're ahead 1-0 just like that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, these days it's a lot different now. Like back in the day, you never saw guys like that lead off. Now, now it's definitely more. Definitely happens a lot more,
hmm
because
Yeah.
had Anthony Rizzo with the Yankees leading off the other day. So
Yeah, that was bizarre. Him and Schwarber for the Red Sox, like seeing both of those guys, lead off, and I think they made a comment on the broadcast, like neither of those guys when they were with the Cubs really wanted to do much leading off, but there they were both leading off for their respective teams in the wild card game.
yeah,
So we do got Yelich in the 3-hole. I'm just looking at the lineup that they're showing on the TBS broadcast. No Luis Arias, which is real interesting.
Hmm.
He kind of came on offensively later on in the season. It was so bizarre because the Adames trade was kind of partly inspired by the lack of production they were getting at shortstop, particularly defensively. with Arias is he was just really struggling with some of his throws to first from the shortstop position. And, you acquire Adames and you think, okay, well, that's going to be a dent to Arias' playing time. But then Travis Shaw kind of falters at third base and they move Arias over to third. And both of those guys just really took off from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And, it was just the strangest thing. I mean, you'd think, it's like bringing in another quarterback. You think like, oh, you're not gonna that guy, the incumbent guy, is not gonna get that much time, but at a premier position like shortstop. But they ended up making it work, and Arias ends up hitting I think 22 home runs on the year. It was over 20. Um, And they added Escobar to that mix. He's played a lot of first base, but he's rotated in at third as well.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre to think about it. I saw a lineup, I think, from a year or two ago, the Brewers in the wild card game, I think, from 2 years ago. And, middle infield just looks completely different. I mean, they had like Arcia, Orlando Arcia, who is now a Brave, and I think is on the wild card roster. He's been a big postseason hitter for the Brewers in the last couple of years, so it'll be interesting to see if he bites back his own team.
Yeah.
But then they had, I think, Keston Hiura at second, and he's really faltered. I don't think he was on the playoff roster. So, and then I think they were rotating Braun still in at first, and he's obviously retired now.
Yeah. Yeah, one factor for me for the Brave side for the series is going to be Austin Riley. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's had like a MVP type season.
Yeah, and I think he was in the 4-hole.
Yeah.
Today for the Braves. So yeah, definitely another fantastic young hitter, and has had a big season for the Braves, and it'll be interesting to see how he's able to settle in here. What I'm really looking for the Brewers is, I think, just these first couple innings, are they able to settle in? Is Burns able to settle in and just get two, 3 scoreless innings? Because I think we've seen in these playoff games, it's the team that strikes first for that crooked number, is oftentimes on the positive side of things, especially when you're at home. So then you got the momentum and the crowd factor on your side. So,
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. The crowd is always a big factor in these games.
mm-hmm. I'll definitely be watching the pitch count for Burns too, because like I said, with the kind of that 6th, 7th inning, kind of a little bit thrown into a tizzy with. I mean, Williams was mostly the 8th inning guy, but you kind of bump people down when you or bump people up, I guess, to the 8th inning. So you're probably going to see, maybe a Boxberger in there. You're going to maybe see Cousins, and I'd like to see Ashby in there at some point, but. Let me pull up the roster again here because I was kind of curious who was on and who was off. Yeah, actually, the all-time playoff home run leader for the Brewers is Orlando Arcia.
Oh
So
wow.
that would be quite the story if he comes back to bite the
Yeah.
Brewers in this one, because he had some big home runs, I think, against the Rockies
Oh boy.
a couple years ago.
Wow. Michael Brantley just hit a long fly ball to center. I thought it was gone, but it was caught at the warning track.
Mm. Yeah, that bullpen gets real thin after about the second or third guy. Well, you're probably going to see a little bit of Hunter Strickland as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just reading this bullpen right now. You got Ashby, you got Boxberger, you got Jake Cousins, you got John Del Gustave, who I feel like if he's getting significant innings, it's probably you're just trying to burn some innings in a game you're down big. And then you got Hader, obviously, and Strickland. So the rest of those guys are starters who may, one or two might end up in the pen. You got Eric Lauer and Adrian Hauser, who might end up in the pen at some point. But what's interesting for the Brewers, and I think is different from the playoff teams they've had the last couple of years. I mean, if you remember, their series against the Dodgers a couple years back. I mean, they're talking about like openers and using like Wade Miley as an opener and stuff like that. And like now they have three legit bona fide like guys who can go 6, 7 innings and keep you in a game. And I think that's the biggest difference between the team that they got now and the team that they've had for the last couple of years is they got guys who can give you a quality start and keep you in a game. It seemed like they were just going kind of patchwork with pitching for the last couple years and relying on the offense. But this is a much different team than I think the playoff version of the Brewers that we've seen for the last couple years, where it's just relying on big hits from Yelich and company. It's going to look a lot different, I think, this year.
Yeah, and you mentioned openers, and it's not as really much in the game as anymore. Like even I thought it would be more of that when the Rays started doing that, but it's kind of more as you kind of just go to the bullpen early, if like especially in the postseason, if even if an ace pitcher is struggling early, they have a quick hook on them.
Yeah, and I think the wild card games. It's like, what do you do? I mean, like it was interesting in the Yankees Red Sox game. Like Cole just clearly. I mean, Rodriguez was talking about it, how it was. You know, it was not looking like Cole's night. And what do you do? I mean, you throw him in there for 2, 3 more innings just because he's Garrett Cole and he'll probably figure it out eventually, or do you go to a bullpen, which I think no matter how good your bullpen is, they're not really designed to cover 7 innings. So like,
No.
what do you do? It's just kind of a rough situation. I was actually thinking, especially with the Yankees, they kind of used they used Severino, right? And he's kind of been a starter for you guys in the past, right?
Yeah, he was a starter, and they kind of just wanted to, since he was coming off the injured list, they wanted to just kind of throw him in there in the bullpen for
So
a
he's
couple
kind of
innings.
like a starter slash long reliever. So that ended up working okay. But I was kind of, wondering in these wild card games, like, you know, do we see for a team that's trying to cover 2, 3 innings, do we see them throw out their second or third starter, just for the wild card game, just because they need to, win that game? Obviously, it's a 1-game playoff, so um, and we didn't really see a whole lot of that, other than the Yankees kind of using a former starter, but um,
Yeah, you definitely see that more in the playoffs because I mean there were teams in the wild card that had their pitchers available too, like their starters available. Like the
mhm.
Dodgers had I forget. I know they had one of their stars at least in there.
Was it Julio Urias? I don't know if
Oh
he
yeah,
started
I
much for
think
them.
yeah, I think it was him. Yeah,
I know he pitched out of the bullpen most of the last postseason and stuff like that, or it was kind of a stopper for them.
yeah. But even like in a game 7 of a series, or especially the World Series, you can see that too. Like you can see a Max Scherzer if he doesn't start the game, in that spot
Oh, definitely.
in the ninth inning or something.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool, unique thing about baseball series as they go on, as opposed to other playoffs. Oh, we're inching to first pitch here. About 15 minutes to the first pitch of the Brewers game. I don't know why it's 3:37. Such a random time.
Yeah, it's so weird. All the other games have like 7 minutes. Like it's the 7 minute mark, and then the Red Sox Rays is 7:02.
Hmm.
It's like what is that's a weird time,
Just make it 7.
and I doubt they're gonna start on time anyway.
Yeah.
So speaking of pitching changes, we got another one in the White Sox game. White Sox are going to Garrett Crochet.
Interesting. Did they have Giolito on the mound to start today?
Yeah, and he pitched until now this inning, the 5th inning, and now he's out.
Interesting.
First and,
So only.
yeah, he got into a jam first and second.
But Crochet is a flamethrower. He's like, I don't know if they plan to start him eventually, or have they started him this year?
I don't think so. I think they're kind of more just leaning towards him being a guy out of the bullpen.
I could see him as kind of the AL version of Hader, like just a
Yeah.
flamethrower.
It's crazy. He was a draft pick last year, and he made his debut last year too. He developed so quickly. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think they realized he. I don't know about his secondary pitches, but I think when you throw 100, they have a spot for you on most MLB teams.
Oh yeah. As long as you can locate too.
Oh, definitely.
Because those guys that can throw 100, but they're like wild and they throw the backstop or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even see that with Earl Chapman sometimes.
Yep.
Throwing to the head at some guys.
So with your Yankees, what's the rebuild look like for you guys? What do you think you guys need to do?
Well, we definitely need to get one of the big shortstops. I think. Like, I would like to see Correa. I mean, even though I hate him as an Astro, but he's just such a good player. He doesn't need the banging, so
Mm-hmm.
he's a great defensive shortstop. Just everything is great about him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
besides his personality, which I don't really care about. But
is Gardner thinking of hanging him up, or what's the situation in center field?
He wants to come back, and he's got an option, He's got a player option, but I just don't know if the Yankees are gonna. I think they will end up maybe bringing him back, but it would be like a really cheap, probably like $1 million for 1 year, something like that.
Yeah, because I think they need some on base guys. Because like I just looked at their lineup in the wild card game, and it was like, okay, you got a bunch of guys who are going to swing about 200 and hit a bunch of bombs, like which can go either way. And I think it kind of showed how that can go when you're kind of relying on the big hit. And like I mentioned from the outset when I first popped on, like Giancarlo had a few big hits, a few that probably would have been homers in a few parks, but kind of lived by the sword, died by the sword with the lineup that they had there.
Yeah, I'd like to see them bring Anthony Rizzo back and bring him back, get Correa or one of the shortstops at least, and because they have such a hole up short, but they need to get guys that can hit the ball like on the line, and get on base.
Yeah, because some of those solo shots need to turn into 2 3 run bombs with guys getting on there. And then get pitchers into the stretch by getting guys on base too.
Yeah. Yeah, there was so many times that Judge and Stan would come up with nobody on,
Hmm.
which is also a testament to him. That they would put Judge in the 3 hole a lot, which isn't the spot where you're gonna have guys on base too much.
Hmm.
So they need to move. They need to just stick him at the 2 hole and keep him there.
Definitely.
And I'm really hoping Gallo can bounce back next year.
Yeah, I mean, he came in swinging such a hot bat, and then I think you guys made him shave his beard, and then he lost his mojo.
Yeah, he had moments, but overall, it wasn't too good.
Hmm.
Especially in the wild card, he was just lost.
Yeah, I mean, even Rodriguez was like basically he kept calling like Gallo like your landing spot or whatever. He was basically saying like Gallo's your easy out. He's gonna swing and miss. So like, just get through the middle of the order, get to Gallo, and then.
Hmm. Yeah, or you can't forget A-Rod's also a little bitter about him taking his number.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, because he even said there was one moment where he was talking about there was a fan that had an A-Rod jersey that he wanted it signed by him,
Hmm.
and he was like, "That's Joey Gallo's number now. I'm not signing that."
Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
"Jesus Christ!"
Never change, but please change, Alex.
Yeah. I loved him as a player, but he as a broadcaster, he's not good.
Yeah. He kind of went Tony Romo on the Bogarts home run though, because literally like right before Bogarts homered to kind of break the game open, he was like, "Yeah, Garrett, the way he was pitching to I think Devers, I think he said he's like, yeah, the way he's pitching to Devers, he's not really attacking. Doesn't look like he has his best stuff." And then like, bam, next pitch.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think I heard a lot of people complaining about just how Rodriguez was as a broadcaster. Like they were just, I think they're just, I don't really, I think one of my pet peeves of broadcasters is like when there's a lot of dead air. Um, and there was just a lot of dead air at times. I think where the play-by-play was kind of setting him up to, you know, have a comment about something, and he wasn't really.
Oh shit! Astros tied the game.
Wow. Okay.
This is a barn burner of a game. Oh. Oh, I just saw a tweet that Alex Verdugo wants to try to be a two-way player next year.
Really interesting. Don't know if I see that at this point, but
Uh,
more power to him. I'd be interested to know what his if he like in the minors at all pitched or anything like that, or
I don't know. He said he can. Oh, it says in the tweet he hasn't pitched since high school,
okay.
so that's interesting.
Think Otani stays with the Angels at this point. I saw that report a couple weeks ago about him just allegedly being frustrated about you know Angels not really contending. It still just continues to blow my mind that they have two of the best players, if not the two best players in baseball right now, and they're so mediocre. Like, how are the two best players in baseball not in the playoffs every year?
I don't,
Like, it's
it's
just
crazy.
unbelievable.
It They just never take their pitching seriously. Never go out after one of the big guys on the market. Or hopefully this year they do. Like in the offseason, I hope they go after Scherzer. I'd like to see them do that
Hmm.
because it's not like you don't have the money to do it.
Right.
It's crazy that they're in Los Angeles, one of the biggest markets, and then they see the Dodgers every year contending, and then I don't know why the Angels can't do the
Mhm.
same.
And it doesn't even seem like a Clippers Lakers comparison because like they don't even seem to like try and keep up with the Joneses. They're just like doing their own thing, like selling jerseys of Otani and Trout and not really
Yeah,
like fielding a very competitive team.
Yeah, it just sucks because nobody ever gets to see Trout and Otani.
Mhm.
Like the best players in the league, you can't get anybody else into watching them because of just they're never on the big stage.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, I mean, it was just a lot. I don't know if you watched much of the like All-Star game or All-Star weekend kind of festivities, but like just the buzz around Otani and stuff like that. I mean, could you imagine if you were on the playoff stage right now? I think just, that would be so great for baseball. But it's a real shame that they haven't really even whiffed the playoffs, especially in a division where it's not like they're in the AL East or the NL West. I mean, two of the more competitive divisions in baseball. Like, they could definitely be in that running if they, like you said, wanted to spend a little bit on pitching and stuff like that. But um, well, seeing the final pregame ceremonies in the Brewers game, it looks like we're just about there.
oh wow, nice double play.
And they're talking about Riley now. Boy, he is built like a guy who can hit the ball a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I mean, just think about like, what the Brewers have at third. They have this, short little stocky guy in Arias, or not even really that stocky. He's just kind of a short, skinny guy. And then you look at Austin Riley at third for the Braves, and it's just like, how do these two play the same position? Because they're two very different looking guys. I think, Riley's built more like your prototypical big third baseman. Um, but Arias is kind of your middle infielder playing a corner infield position a little bit. Oh, they just showed Bud Selig throwing out the first pitch. Boy, he.
Oh wow, Bud Selig.
Oh, and Bob Uecker with him too.
Hmm.
Oh, I think we're getting our first pitch is next kind of deal. TBS.
You got a prediction for this game?
Sure. Let's go. I'm thinking 4-1 Brewers here, game one.
Hmm.
I think we get a big hit from Adames, and Burns goes maybe 6-7 strong. I'm feeling good about where he's at today.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Braves. I think they match zeros for like the first 5-6 innings before
Okay.
before the offense becomes a factor. I'm gonna say the Brewers get the lead first, and then maybe a big hit late in the game by Riley or something to get
Yeah.
helps
I
the
think especially if we get a short start from Burns, I think where the Brewers are susceptible is in those sixth, seventh innings. 'Cause I'm not sure who they're gonna get to cover. You've been watching the Mannings do their kind of ESPN watch along?
Yeah, I've been watching that. I definitely like that more than the regular ESPN.
Yeah.
But I'm sad that they're not going to be doing it for a few weeks.
Yeah, it's a shame. I thought they had a good thing going there, and I think they just kind of stuck to their pre-established agreement with the Mannings, and that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, those are real fun to watch. I like it because it's like kind of a casual, just kind of like what we're doing, just like just kind of sitting on the couch with the Mannings watching the game together, rather than like being spoon fed every detail
All right.
about the game. So
What's up, Kevin?
What's going on, guys? How's it going?
Good. I got Zach Bellman here. He's a Brewers fan. So talking about the game coming up here.
how's it going, Kev?
Awesome. Doing good. Just hanging out, waiting for the night game. But yeah, I'm excited to watch Brewers Braves too. I think that'll actually be a good series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You watched the White Sox game at all?
Yeah, our old friend Yimi Garcia doing what he used to do for us. Not coming through.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a good game.
I still think the Astros are going to take that series.
Yeah, I do too. I really hope the White Sox can at least take this game though and make it interesting.
Yeah.
That one's in Houston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Only 2 lefties and a switch hitter for the Braves against Burns. That'll be interesting. He really likes to bust people in with that cutter, so
Did they get first pitch yet in that game?
we're just about there. We're walking from the on deck circle, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be flipping between that now and this game, the White Sox.
I don't know if you've touched on this, but do you think Aaron Boone's gone?
No, I think they're gonna bring him back. I don't want them to, but I think they're just gonna end up like if you get rid of him, there's really not anybody else you can bring in. Like I don't see any other replacement that would do anything different. I think if they bring him back though, they have to make him not be as involved like in decision making because they need to rely more on analytics. Like he gets handed a lineup that's all based on analytics, and then he just decides to throw it in the trash and not do what they say because he puts Judge in the 3-hole, which is not it's so against analytics. And then he makes all these boneheaded decisions in the bullpen. It's like that's not analytics. Like they need to be more like the Rays.
Yeah. I can't really think like what candidates they could go after. It might have to be someone who is brand new.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of Buck Showalter, but I
That won't happen.
don't want that. That's too old school. Like,
Yeah, he's had his day.
yeah, they would have to. It would have to be somebody like I don't know, somebody I've never heard of. That's just getting into baseball.
All right, we're just about to first pitch here.
Yeah, I don't know. What about? I don't know if you know anything about his post-playing career, but Eric Chavez.
What is
Apparently, right now he's like a Angels assistant to the GM, but he's like a big analytics guy. Apparently, I think he played for the Yankees for like barely.
Yeah, I think I remember him playing with the Yankees. I mean, I don't think he would want to do it, but David Cohn would be a good one because he's so into analytics on the broadcast and everything. He's always talking about that, like the numbers and stuff. But I think he's happy where he is, so I don't think he's gonna do it. Who do you think is gonna take over for the Mets?
I don't even know, to be honest. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I haven't heard any. I don't even
Would
heard
they-
any candidates yet.
Would they just go back to Carlos Beltran?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it might be him.
Yeah, because I feel like he would still be a good manager. Just like the only reason they fired him because of his involvement in the cheating scandal. But that I feel like that's kind of past now. Like nobody cares about that anymore. Especially when you see AJ Hinch come back and Alex Cora come back. No, like they don't. Obviously, nobody really cares.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what Hinch did with the Tigers this year was pretty good. So
Apparently, the Giants just announced their starting lineup.
A little bit of a battle here for Burns right off the bat with Soler.
oh boy,
Taking him to a 3-2 count, lead off the game here. Didn't think I'd see that kind of a bat from Soler. I just kind of figured a 3 true outcomes kind of guy.
we got Buster Posey in the cleanup spot.
Yeah. I kind of find it interesting. Wilmer Flores is batting second at first.
Yeah. Chris Bryant in the 6 hole.
Yeah, it's really low.
He's fallen off a little bit, seemed like.
Yeah.
I think this matchup between Burns and Freeman is going to be pretty interesting because Burns really likes, you saw on the first pitch, I think he tried to bust him in with the cutter a little bit, just catch the inner part of the zone. These are going to be some interesting battles today.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Ooh, there's. I think mine's a little bit ahead of yours because it's a 3-2 count right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm at a 2-1 count, so I might just refresh my.
How about Chas McCormick in his first postseason game? He's got a sac fly, a walk, and now a single.
Yeah, seeing Lance Lynn get rocked yesterday was just like a nice reminder of like this dude is kind of overrated. He's not built for the playoffs because he's too dependent on fastballs and sinkers and doesn't really throw any off-speed pitches. And like
Yeah.
when you get into the postseason, most of the teams in that race are good fastball hitting teams.
Yeah. Especially the Astros. You can't throw fastballs to the Astros.
He threw, I think, 2 or 3 non-heaters his outing yesterday. And it was, the Astros. He threw, I think, 1 changeup and 1 curveball.
Yeah.
His other 74 pitches, I want to say, around that number were fastball, sinker, and cutter.
Jeez.
TBS seems to be having all kinds of trouble with their like scoreboard bug or whatever, because they say 1 out when we're only on the second hitter and and the first hitter's on base. So very confused as to what they're trying to show here. What do you guys think of the new Fox score bug?
I think it was interesting. Kind of just pops out at you. Like, can't miss it.
Yeah. Oh, they finally took that first out off. Okay.
The bases, they're like too cartoony for me. Other than that, everything looks fine.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Well, this is a pretty abysmal start for Burns.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this. Although the Braves did hit him the last time too, when they faced him back in what was it, July?
All right, now he's making it pretty easy for him, throwing a wild pitch, giving him first and third with 2 walks.
Oh yeah, they just said in the broadcast back in July they put 4 runs up on him. Actually 5 runs. Oh. Wow. I won't spoil it for you.
Uh-oh. Boy, my TBS feed, I'm not sure what's so slow about it. I guess that's what I get for trying to stream.
Yeah, mine's just on cable, so that's probably why.
Wow. Okay. I just saw that happen.
That was one heck of a
wow, that
play.
was fortuitous.
That was a great play.
I mean, that's a potential rally killer right there.
Yeah, Rowdy Tellez. That was impressive.
200 IQ play. See, that's another reason why, like, I would think you want your speedy on base guy leading off because Soler is not very fleet of foot. Any other fast leadoff hitter is getting home on that.
Right.
And instead he kind of gets hung up, and now it's wow. That is a huge defensive play. I'm gonna try and refresh this again because I'm so far behind. Keep getting stupid ads that probably put me even further behind. Velez has been a big
Wow, he
pickup.
induced.
They had a big hole at their first base, for a while there, basically since Eric Thames left, and he was able to plug that gap with pretty solid play. And then Escobar, was kind of a rotational guy for him too against lefties. Freddie Freeman just straight steal third. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess they're kind of keen on Burns being a little wild in the first inning and just going for it.
Here's that play.
On the ground down the first base, that's fair ball out there, throw to the plate. Soler is out there. Double play.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't usually see a play that good by a first baseman. Just to have the IQ to throw to first. I mean, throw to home, like step on first and then throw home. Like,
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, I think the speed on third really made or the lack thereof, really made a difference there too, because I think a lot of people get home on that.
yeah.
Well, a clean inning with all that told, first and third with nobody out, is something I think a lot of Brewers fans will take. A lot of pitches for Burns. It gets me a little nervous about the back end of this, but
Yeah. Yeah, what is he at now? It's close to 30 pitches or what?
yeah, I think he was about 20. Yeah, I think he got through that last at bat, and maybe with like 21 total.
Yeah, 22.
The Braves and their base running in the postseason.
Yeah.
What a combo.
That might have been their best chance to score too.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that they don't end up with a run there. Like, I don't know if that was just. I'd be interested in seeing that maybe once or twice more, and just seeing like what kind of jump Soler got there. If that was the reason, because a ground ball to first should be like an easy decision to go, and you'd think with any kind of a jump, he's easily there.
Yeah, that should be a contact play on that.
Alex Verdugo is going to try to become a pitcher.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
talked
was
about
talking
that.
about that before. Yeah, that's surprising because he hasn't pitched since high school. So like, what made him want to do that? Just to be like he wants to be like Otani, I guess.
What happened to Christian Yelich? Like,
Yeah, we were
where'd the
talking about
power
that
go?
earlier. Kind of fell off the face of the earth. I think, I think 2020 he just never quite found it, and I think he's been still searching for it all of 2021. Had a nice spurt there, I think, towards the beginning of September where he was hitting for a little bit better contact, but especially against lefties, he's looked pretty incompetent this year and struggling with the breaking ball. I think teams are pitching him in a lot more, and I think he's not really getting his arms extended and catching up to the fastball much. So um, it's been a rough go of things, but I think he's as much as anybody kind of counting on postseason being a fresh start, and maybe he can get something going here.
Yeah, it's definitely a key for the Brewers in this series. If they can get him going, then they definitely have a shot.
I think it's a testament to how good this team has been that they have been able to withstand. Because I think he led them in 18 and 19 to the playoffs, and they pretty much did it on the back of his offense. But the fact that he's never had it going and they still won the division so handily, I think is a testament to what they've been able to get done as a team and generate offense in other ways. But yeah, I don't think this team makes a World Series run without a few big hits from Yelich.
Yeah. I think him and Adames are the two biggest keys for their lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Astros White Sox is 10th right now.
Yeah.
What do we got there?
Yeah, no offense to the Red Sox, but I don't think they're even in the same league as the Rays right now.
No, definitely not. I think they're getting swept. And I was upset when the Yankees lost, but then I realized even if the Yankees won that game, they wouldn't have matched up with the Rays either.
Word.
Oh, we're calling a pretty favorable zone tonight, it seems like, for the pitchers. Craig Counsell just looks like he's already ruminating about the strike zone.
First time in postseason history for any of the major sports where two 70-year-olds are managers are the coaches.
Really?
Yeah. With Dusty Baker and La Russa.
Wow, Adames just
Gotta-
stared at a fastball right down the middle.
I got to head back to work, but I might pop in a little bit.
All right, sounds good.
Well, Morton looks pretty strong so far. Pair of strikeouts to get started. I think especially after that laboring inning for Burns, I don't think they want him trotting right back out there. So we'll see if Yelich can at least draw this one out a little bit. Center cut, 97-mile-an-hour fastball. That's something that Prime Yelich just like absolutely obliterates into the right field bleachers. But
Yeah. Oh man! Wow. Monty Grandal just hit a fly ball. Looked like it was getting over the outfielder's head, but it was caught by Tucker. First and second, and he gets out of it. Stanek.
yeah, Grandal was a big piece for a year in Milwaukee. I think in 19. Well, Milwaukee hasn't gotten the base runners so far, but they're at least making Morton throw a few. He's up to 17 on my feed at least.
Yeah, maybe this won't be the pitcher's duel that I thought it was going to be.
Oof, another wow. He just blew two, upper 90s fastballs right by Yelich. I think, him and Keston Hira have really struggled with the high fastball this year and saw it again there. So 3 up, 3 down via the strikeout. Not a great start for the Brewers.
Head into the bottom of the seventh in the Astros game.
Yeah, I was going to check on that one. Yeah, I'm just catching up on my Twitter feed, and everyone else is still, or I'm just getting a lot of tweets from people freaking out about the 3-2 double play there.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
That, I mean, you only get like one out there. You like try for the fielder's choice play at second or something like that. Like, that could be a completely different inning.
Yeah, that changed a lot of things. That helps Burns have a longer outing too, because if that gets by or whatever, if they score a couple runs there, that's get the bullpen already up maybe.
Mm-hmm. You got a lot of Brewers fans feeling sentimental for, I don't know if you remember the 2011 playoffs for the Brewers. It was kind of their second playoff appearance, after the one in 2008 with CC Sabathia in 08, but getting back in 11, that was the year that they played like Written in the Stars was like the postseason theme, and it was just like they played it for like every commercial break, and now I got a bunch of Brewers fans in the feeds, getting all sentimental for that song because they're like, oh, it's on TBS and it's a Brewers playoff game. Like, where's Written in the Stars?
Yeah, that was a great song for the postseason.
Yeah. Good memories.
Yeah, I remember jamming out to that. Watching highlights and seeing that song, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Even though the Cardinals won that year, oh well.
Oh yeah.
We'll see if Burns can have a little bit more efficient inning here. Because if he can't make it through 5, I don't know where the middle of this pen is going to be at. I think Council's going to have to make a decision on, are we, going all in to maximize our, home field opportunities and game 1 opportunities to start the series off right, and pitch the winning bullpen if it's still tied or a 1-run game or something like that, or maybe pitch somebody to just get through the innings.
Yeah.
It's kind of been the story for the Brewers with, like I said, kind of their changed team dynamic this year is they're in a lot of games I mean, especially with Brandon Woodruff on the mound, he got some real tough luck. Like he was almost as efficient as Burns. Obviously, still kind of in that ERA conversation. As a Cy Young candidate, but he could not get any run support, and he would get 5-6 innings into a one-run game, and could leave losing the game, like because they just couldn't get anything going. It'd be a 1-0 game, and he'd take the tough luck loss.
Mhm.
Burns with a little 3-pitch, 4-pitch strikeout there.
Getting a little bounce back inning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he can get out of this on the right side of 40, steadily work that pitch count back into manageable territory.
Yeah.
A lot more breaking balls this inning. It seems like he's throwing a curveball quite a bit. Any other developments in the White Sox game?
Nothing yet. They got Michael Brantley up with guy at first, no outs. In the 7th, Aaron Bummer pitching.
One-time Brewers prospect was actually traded to Cleveland for CC.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
that.
think he was I don't know if he was the headliner of that deal, but he ended up being the biggest prospect out of that deal.
Interesting.
Can't believe, he's still in the league because CC's been out for a number of years.
Got him. Got Brantley to whiff on a slider.
Oh, thought that pop-up was going to get him out of the inning. It's foul. Burns doesn't look too phased by the first so far.
Did you see that Rosarena steal of home last night?
Yeah, boy. I mean, I realized at that point it was already like a 4-0 game, I think, in the 7th, and that was for the 5th run. But
Yeah.
to steal home in a playoff game, like that's a pretty egregious mistake by the Red Sox to let that up. But B, like the cojones it takes to make the decision to go from third in a playoff game is a pretty big one, regardless of the score.
Yeah, and they said that the only other straight steal of home in a playoff game like that was Jackie Robinson
Really?
back in '55.
Wow.
Because there's been other steals of home, but not like straight steals. It would be like if there was another guy running or
Sure. Like
wild
a
or
play
something
was
like
put
that.
on or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Astros got something cooking here in the 7th. Bregman just got to hit up the middle, first and third now.
Right as I thought Burns was on his way out of the inning, looks like he walked Darnell. They got number. They got in the order here. Yeah, I mean, Burns is showing some ability to tightrope out of danger, but this pitch count is not going to favor his ability to go deep into this ball game.
Yeah. What's he at now?
I mean, on my stream, he's at 37, and we're not out of the second yet. And I said if he could get out of this on the plus side, he just hasn't really gotten any first pitch outs. He's got a lot of, and maybe that is kind of just how the playoffs go. Sometimes you got a lot of patient hitters at the plate, trying to let the crowd noise die down a little bit. But he hasn't really gotten any like one pitch outs or anything like that so far. He's gotten a few swings on the first pitch, but nobody's made contact and generated an out.
Yeah, when you talk about patient hitters too, like it was just with the Yankees, it was unbelievable how aggressive they were being when the wild
Mm-hmm.
card. Like they needed to slow down. They needed to slow the game down and be patient. They were just
Yeah.
that's why Evaldi was doing so good because they didn't let him get into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be nice if they can get some guys that can be patient at the plate.
Definitely. Yeah. Generate some more, ABs that get the pitch count up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
I think the one thing I don't like about this score bug for TBS is it does. I like when the score bug shows the hitter's name and like number in the lineup because I'm kind of lost now. I think Swanson might be 8th, but I'm not sure. Gotta check the
Yeah,
box
I
score
know.
here.
I know he was bottom, like towards the bottom of the lineup.
Well, I said under 40, and Burns got through in 40, so
Wow. Okay.
20 pitches over the first 2 innings each.
Oh boy. Astros got the lead again. Alvarez with a big hit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so 5-4, 7th inning, still first and second with 1 out, and just hit. It was right down the middle from Bummer.
Really.
It just went right up the middle. Well, Bummer's out of the game. What a bummer.
Boy, they got some real nice hard throwing lefties in that pen between Bummer and Crochet.
Yeah. See, I don't know where they're going now. Because they got to really limit the damage here. They can't give up any more runs.
Mm-hmm. Wow, interesting note on Burns so far. He's allowed 3 walks already. That ties a game high for the season so far. We're in the second inning.
Oh man.
So, I mean, maybe it's just adrenaline from the um, adrenaline from the big moment. But yeah, I mean, that was one of his strengths. I think entering the season, he was on a streak already for batters retired without a walk. Um, and then I think set or tied the record, I think, by Kenley Jansen um, for most retired without a walk. And then, obviously walked a few after that. But, that's something that he does not typically struggle with is walks. And I think he's used to batters, maybe chasing a few more pitches than they have so far. Braves must have a good scouting report on what to expect so far because they haven't really been chasing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably just went in there, wanting to just work counts,
Hmm.
saying don't lay off the off-speed pitches and all that.
Well, we finally got some contact for a Brewers hitter, but ground ball back to the pitcher. It's
Hmm.
kind of worried with Garcia down 0-2 if we were going to get a 4th straight strikeout to start the game from Milwaukee.
Wow. Oh, we got Craig Kimbrell in the game here.
Oof. I really didn't. I mean, that's one reliever where I feel like he's kind of got his best seasons behind him, and I really didn't understand the trade. I guess I realized that the Cubs were trying to just kind of fire sale everybody, but that one I really didn't understand from the White Sox perspective. I feel like
I can understand it. It's partially because it's just kind of trying to shorten the game because then they have two big arms in the bullpen.
hmm
But he hasn't been too good with the White Sox though.
no, yeah.
But it's definitely a big situation here. Oh man, got a fly ball. What's going on, Megan?
Hey, what's going on? Hold on, sorry, I had to turn my other speaker off. I'm driving.
Okay.
Great situation. I'm not watching any of the baseball, but I'm like kind of updating myself.
Yeah, so we got a big moment here in the White Sox Astros game right now.
I just looked, it was 5-4. It's still 5-4?
Yeah, it's still 5-4. Kimbrel's trying to get out of it now.
Oh, Kimbrel.
Yeah. Surprised they went to him in the 7th inning.
I remember when he was like on the trading block earlier this year, and everybody was like, he's going to be a Dodger. No.
Yeah.
No. We'll get
Yeah, he hasn't.
Go ahead.
He hasn't really been too good with the White Sox.
Not at all. He was good. He was good on the Cubs. He's one of my relievers on my fantasy team, so.
Oh. Okay.
I liked him there. I don't like him anywhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got Zach Bellman on here too. He's a Brewers fan.
How's it going?
I called the Astros in 3, so let's see if it comes to fruition.
Yeah, I said in 4, but if they don't win this game, I think the Astros take it in 3.
Yeah. I don't know. They've been on fire this year, man. As much as we all hate to admit it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've
I
been,
mean,
5
it's kinda-
strikeouts through 2 innings for the Brewers so far. That's pretty rough. Morton's dealing today.
Oh yeah, I was expecting him to deal. He's always so good in the postseason.
like Charlie Morton?
Hmm
Yeah,
He went to the Brewers? Where have I been?
No, Braves.
Braves. Yeah,
Behind, apparently.
oh god. The Astros just scored 2 more runs.
Wait, no. No, he's on the right. Uh-oh. I'm going through like a rough patch of service, so I'm gonna have to rejoin in a second, probably.
That's all right. The Astros just added 2 more runs.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it working? Okay. Is it working again?
Yeah, it's kind of working. Yeah, it's like in and
Kind
out.
of working. Sorry. Yeah. All in and out sounds so good right now. I hate the East Coast. No, Charlie Morton is still on the Braves, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, so the
Yeah,
Brewers have struck out 5 times. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Got it. I'm up to date. Sorry, I'm behind. I'm tired.
It's all good.
I forgot they were playing the Braves. Sorry, Jock. I'm still very, very upset that Jock Peterson's not the Dodger anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, that leaving for the Cubs really didn't work out for him. It sounded like they really promised him more at bats against lefties with the Cubs, and that didn't really come to fruition. Then he becomes another fire sale victim.
Well, and then I mean, even the Braves, they haven't started him in like 10, 15 games. I feel like because he's on my fantasy. He was on my fantasy team too because I love him. Obviously, I draft just my favorite people. But he didn't start like the last 15 games.
Mhm.
So
Well, welcome the White Sox fan to rant about the team.
Oy. Yeah, now this game's really over, so I can lose my mind, right?
Yeah, Kimbrel, good old Kimbrel.
Well, you know what? He looked good for a batter. I can swear on this, right?
Yeah, it's all good.
All right, where the fuck do I start with this goddamn game? Holy shit. It's Giolito's in the 5th. Giolito going into the 5th was fine. Like, I was cool with it. I wanted him in, but how the fuck, with the way he struggled through 4 innings, you have nobody up to start the goddamn inning.
Yeah.
So easy. Literally, children on Twitter are doing it. How do you not? You're a Hall of Famer. We can go in 3 hours on fucking La Russa. Then 2 walks and a long fly ball. You bring in Garrett Crochet, a starter who struggles when he's brought in the middle of innings, whose best pitch is a fastball against a team who we learned yesterday fucking crushes your fastballs. So that worked out great. Oh, it didn't work out great. What do you know? So then, don't worry. The White Sox are I just pulled it up. What are they? 4th least shifts in the league this year? Yeah, 4th fewest shifts in the league. But we're suddenly going, man, it's wild how they're getting hits through the middle and through the fucking holes every time. Oh, I wonder if there's a scouting report that'll help them. Fuck this team. Fuck this manager. Like, God, like, I try to be nice. Like, I really, the last couple of months, I haven't said a word because, like, but this shit is so simple. And you want to talk about bringing a guy in to fucking fix this shit and to make it all good. And you
freak. No.
Again, this shit, like, you brought in a guy. This was the sole purpose. Ricky Renteria who I love. Ricky Renteria could win a goddamn playoff game. Tony La Goddamn Russa, literal Hall of Fame, multi-time World Series champion, can't pull this shit off in 2021. What the fuck are we doing? Anyways, very nice to meet you all.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel, Bennett.
Good intro.
I appreciated that so much. That was so great.
God damn it. Like,
I take it you don't really see a path out of an 0-2 deficit at this point.
I mean, like, you're talking.
The Dodgers did it last year when they were down 3-1, so you never know.
Yeah, like the issue is you needed the win from the Giolito start because you're asking now Dylan Cease to come in and have a great game 3, which like Dylan Cease against a good team is an issue. And then you're asking, hopefully Carlos Rodon, who's has a dead arm, to come in and pitch well. And if not, you're asking Lance Lynn, who we've established can't pitch for shit. And then I trust Lucas Giolito in a game 5. I'm very thankful for his performance today, where he fought through 4 and a third, and probably should have fought through 4 even. But like, I don't know, man. Like it's tough to see. I hate saying anything is possible because that sounds so loserish, but like Tim Anderson and Luis Robin are hitting the cover off the ball, and they're all singles, which is a different issue. No one else is hitting at this point. Like, you're hoping for an RBI single from Abreu. You got one. Like a sac fly from Yasmani Grandal was you know what? I'm happy to take this because he made contact.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Oh, Grandal.
I love Yasmani Grandal. I've always been with, but like, he is colder than I'd say the Arctic, but global warming. It's not even that cold anymore.
Hey, you could be a Pirates fan like this guy in front of me.
Yeah, I guess it could be worse. How are you feeling? We'll give you Dallas Keuchel this offseason. What do you think? A good veteran starter, owed a lot of money. You can pay all. Relax.
Yeah.
Come here. Come on.
Well, I saw Corbin Burns just struck out another guy.
Yeah, got through Freeman. I noticed getting a few more chases and a few more early swings. Now, it seemed like the pitches are in pretty much the same locations that he was going to, kind of down and away with the sinker, and was getting a swing that he wasn't getting early in the first couple of bats. So it looks like Braves are letting it rip a little bit more.
He didn't do much against the Dodgers last week, so.
Well, I think they pulled him early because, the Brewers were not playing for anything that last week. They had the division wrapped up, so they were just trying to get through without getting anybody hurt.
Yeah. Well, that's why everybody was so pissed about Scherzer getting pulled early yesterday or Tuesday. I don't even know what fucking day it is anymore. But everybody was like, "It's only 4 innings," and I was like, "Yeah, save him."
He was at 95 pitches too.
Yeah. But save him too. Like, if we win this game, we're gonna need him. So.
Yeah. You don't want him to throw his arm off.
Although, did you see his interview though, where he was wasted out of his mind?
Oh my God, that was classic. That was amazing.
He's shirtless and he can't talk. He's like, "I'm drunk." It's my favorite thing ever in the entire world. I was like, I love this man so much.
That was worth staying up for. I was debating, watching the 8th or 9th inning of that game. Is this game going to be worth staying up for? Because at that point, it looked like it might go 14, 15 innings because no one seemed, wanting to score. And then they get the walk off and just a classic interview from Scherzer.
CT3, man. What would we do without him? I'm driving, by the way. Just in case you were wondering, what's his name? Bennett. Just
no. Listen, I have to go hide in my car sometimes too. I get it. And literally the only impact I'm having off this series is the Astros are the best defensive team of all time, because I don't think they've made not even a mistake. They've gone so far above and beyond playing good defense in the last 2. Today, legitimately, you need both hands and maybe a foot to count base hits they've taken away from the Sox.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And like, give me one. Like, give me one of those doubles down the line that wasn't snagged or diving catch or whatever. Like,
Did you see how the Giants won their last game though?
yeah.
Like, to not let the Dodgers, tie them for a division, winning game. It hit the third base, literally on the corner, and Tatis was like running home. Jesus, man! Like, how lucky can you fucking get? Like, for real?
Yeah.
That it just perfectly hits the corner. I hate Profar though, so I think it's kind of funny it happened to him. But like, how lucky are you that the ball hits the corner of the bag, and then he just gets out? Like, it's just, how does that happen to the Giants of all teams? Stupid Giants. I hate them so much.
That was like in the AL wildcard game. I think it was Rizzo that hit one to first, and it looked like it was going to hit the bag, but it barely missed, and then he ended up getting out. I was like, oh my god.
So
what are they saying? Ryan Presley had something on his glove? Is that what I'm seeing?
Wait, what?
He threw his glove down and went and wiped his hands.
Oh shit! What?
I have no idea what is happening. I'd rather have it on mute and not know what was happening, which is a whole different screaming match you could have about this game. But
is Joe Buck announcing? Is that why?
Oh, I wish it was Joe. Listen, Joe Buck is boring. Joe Buck is boring, but at least Joe Buck is boring. This is the three oldest men on earth, and they have talked about it. Okay, I want you to think of just like the oldest, most random, like, this is something we can bring up in a broadcast because they talked about it. We got Bobby Thompson. They got who the fuck? They brought up like the 1952 AL MVP, Andrew Vaughn with a base hit. You love it. Who cares? They're down 5. Like, I'm not kidding. They literally. So first of all,
baseball movies.
The big controversy is Jim Cat was like, yeah, I'd like to have 40 acres of Yohan Moncada's.
Oh, I saw that.
I was like, what the fuck was that?
Fringe.
And then they 2.5 innings later, they handed him an apology, and he went, I'd like to apologize for a term that I said, which is not appropriate. And what I simply meant was that he's an excellent baseball player and nothing more. Anyways, how about that base running?
Oh, God.
What the fuck?
That's like a Nick Castellanos moment right there.
Literally, it was like, yes.
And that'll make it a 4-0 ball game.
Right. I don't know if I'll ever put on this headset again.
Oh, Kyle Tucker just did something because I just got a notification.
Yeah, he went deep in the bottom of the 7th.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah, it's 9-4 now.
It's what? 9-4?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, don't worry, Larry Garcia is up with 2 outs.
Was it a grand slam?
A 3-run shot.
Okay.
Craig
Brewers
Kimbrell
finally have something to cheer about offensively. Lorenzo Keane finally got on base.
The only thing that I'm just going to be happy about is if I'm right about Astros in 3. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Like, fuck this team.
Shit.
I'm you know what? I'm based out of DC, not Chicago. So I got like a bunch of people coming out to a bar on Sunday to watch the game, and like, we'll have a fun time. And like, fuck this game though. Like, I don't give a shit about the game. Like, this shit sucks. Like, God.
Oh, God. Oh. I made a wrong turn.
Oh, man.
I'm good. Don't worry. I'm good. I am worried about the Dodgers. I'm not gonna lie. So
it's gonna be a close series.
I'm fairly confident that we'll be okay, but I'm just October baseball is sick to my stomach, you know.
Yeah.
Were the Sox in the World Series in 2005?
Yep, against these Astros.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and they swept them, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah,
I was
because
at
I
the first
called
two
that.
games.
It's hilarious to me that this is the thing right now because I called the sweep in 2005. I was like, dude, the White Sox are going to kick their fucking asses. The Astros aren't going to win a game. I called it.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
That was
Astros in 3 yesterday, and I was like, shit, if this really fucking happens, like I've done this. It's been I'm going around in a circle now, I feel like.
Yeah, 05 was a wild. That like
05 was really wild. It was a crazy year for baseball.
Unbelievable. They're going to be for the first. I think it's them and there's someone else recent who are going to be the only two without a Hall of Famer on the playoff roster for like the next few decades. It's like a while going back already because the 80s Tigers were always the ones that were mentioned, and they finally got like 3 now all of a sudden. But they're gonna have unless some stupid shit happens with Mark Burley, they're gonna have no Hall of Famers who are on that roster in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, there's no way he makes it. I don't think he does.
You need Jerry Reinsdorf to stay alive another 30 years to be on a committee with Ozzie Guillen and like I don't know why Frank Thomas would be on there, but sure, the 3 of them to get you half the votes you need for a committee kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then just talk their friends into it. That's how what's his name just got in that everyone hates.
Where am I? My maps like took me like on these back roads, and I'm like, where the fuck? I'm gonna die. It's fine. Don't worry.
Oh.
Fucking Florida, man. It's gonna find me. I don't know where this. I've never driven this way to Daytona before. Sorry. I hate the state, by the way. It sucks out here. Don't ever come here.
Oh, I'm coming in December, so.
Oh well. I feel bad for you. It's the worst.
I can't believe MLB Network is having a baseball card show, and they're like so excited, and it's like it's the saddest commercial I've ever seen. It's just like, yeah, I've got and like I have baseball cards, like it's cool, but it's just like, wow, it's cool that even in today's age, people still like baseball cards. It's like that's you're having a show because of that. You're having a show because people got really bored during the lockdown, so they paid enough money for baseball cards and went crazy enough that Target had to stop stocking them because children were being hurt. Like that's real.
I don't know anything about baseball cards, but
it's not crazy that Topps is not going to be the producer for it anymore.
Yeah, can't wait for Fanatics to fuck something else up. Jim Cat and Buck Showalter.
I'm in the back road, so if I freeze or if you can't hear me, I'm sorry.
There's Yankee fans that want Buck Showalter as manager. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, you know, like I grew up on Long Island, and let me tell you something, man. There are some smart Yankees fans out there, but there are some that just aren't. And I mean, I'm saying that also like I'm not a Bears fan where there are still the dumbasses who call in and want Ditka as a head coach in 2021. Like, I get you, but like, jeez. And now, great. This is peak Tony La Russa is having Garrett Crochet lose the lead to have Liam Hendricks throw down 5.
What?
Yeah, what's the deal there?
Why would
why not just throw an innings eater out there?
He probably is going to say he wants him to get work, which is like,
oh my god, get work in a freaking postseason game.
Yeah, well. So it was a thing early in the year, and he seemed to get over it. Was like you could only use Hendricks in save situations. So like you'd have 4 or 5 days without one, and then he'd have to come in an 8-run ball game just to because he hasn't thrown in a week. Hold on, I'm just tweeting this out. I'll get a lot of likes. Hang on. Relax, dog.
I was hoping the White Sox would just win the World Series this year, just to spite La Russa.
Yeah, me too. I'll be honest.
Yeah, we got to see some offense here in this Braves game.
I don't know. It's probably not coming from the Brewers anytime soon. They don't seem to be breaking through against Morton, although they finally got their base hit in the third. But Burns, at least, has kind of managed to be a little bit more efficient. Boy, that as these innings go further along, I mean, that play in the first becomes even bigger by Tellez.
Oh yeah. I mean, I called this. I knew it was going to be a close. I knew it was going to be like a pitcher's duel here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still holding my prediction that I had earlier. I tweeted out that it would be 0-0 for until like the seventh inning, and then Austin Riley hits a big home run late in the game. And then the Braves hold on.
Certainly a possibility at this point.
Did I say this tweet we got a lot of likes? We are less than 2 minutes. I've got 40 likes. Because at this point, you just have to say fuck Tony La Russa and you're getting likes. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I don't even have any beers in the fridge. I can't even get drunk right now.
Oh man.
My day's ruined. Just it's literally I'm sitting here going like I should start working on my off-season plan for the White Sox. Because like who the fuck cares, man? Like this shit's over. It's not, but like it probably is. Yeah, like we're asking Dylan Cease, and then you're hoping Carlos Rodon can throw you 5. Just don't see it, and as I've been. People don't seem to get. I am happy to be proven wrong, but I have not yet. Dog, relax. All right, I have to run because she's probably got to go out. But thank you for having me. It's been fun. Thank you for letting me get a little stress out.
Yeah,
and have a good one, guys.
You too.
Yeah,
Hopefully the White Sox turn around.
Yeah, we'll see you when they take it in 5. See it.
Yeah. Wow, Schoolers threw 3 1/3. I mean 3 1/2 here.
What's that?
We got a scoreless game here.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of. I'm not too surprised by this because, like I said, this is kind of how a lot of Brewer games went this year for people following the team year round. I mean, they just really struggled with early offense, and obviously when you're swinging and missing as much as they are so far, that's not really going to help matters. But pitchers have got them this far, and now it looks like we're through 4, or through the top half of 4 for Burns, which, considering the way this one started with first and third nobody out, if you would have told me 0-0 through 3.5, I would have been by that the way this one was pacing out. But he's really managed to settle down, and I think it's one of those starts where he may not have his best stuff, but he's grinding and getting through it and realizing the team needs a big start out of him. So he's kind of leveled out the pace here a little bit. Looks like 63 pitches through 4, which, given he had 40 through 2,
Yeah.
is a much better pace.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing for him.
Got a Duval 1-pitch pop out to end the inning. That's what he needed more of, was a couple of those 1-pitch outs. And surprisingly, wow, yeah, 1 hit. And even though it feels like, Morton's actually dominated, the Brewers, it's the Brewers with more hits through 3 innings right now. I'm probably going to have to hop off here at 5. Got to get ready for work.
Gotcha.
Or 5 my time. I'm not sure where it is there.
Yeah, it'll be 6 here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is bizarre, though. Like Bennett pointed out, like, why in the world are you pitching effectively your closer in a 5-run game? Like, do you really have no one else to cover that inning?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like he's basically throwing in the towel at that point. Like,
well, it's like it's almost like he's playing it too aggressively too late. Like you pitched your winning bullpen. It didn't work out. You had a bunch of runs given up, and now this is no longer probably a winnable game too. But you're still just, throwing out the winning bullpen and just burning those guys for, game 3. Which doesn't seem to make much sense.
oh my God! Now they're talking about connecting Tony La Russa to Connie Mack. These old freaking guys up on the broadcast.
Wow.
Like, I love baseball history as much as the next guy, but like you need to just slow it down a little bit here.
Yeah, they are really talking to the people who fell asleep watching the game. It sounds like at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we're supposed to be all about getting kids into the game, but you're just trying to talk to the people that are snoring.
Whoa, Morton throws one like right at Adamas's dome. Just looks like he lost the handle on a fastball, but it just like zipped over his head. Jeez, that's like right at his head. Oof, Thomas chased a high fastball there. They just don't seem to be finding it at all in the batter's box for the Brewers. That's what, like 6, 7 Ks already?
Wow. Oh man, White Sox got a little bit of rally going in the 9th. 2 guys on with no outs.
I was about to say, is that one like over yet? Guess not.
It's going to be another 4-hour
Oh,
game that started at what?
goodness. They just like called a first pitch strike on Yelich like above the letters.
Jesus.
As if Morton needs any help right now with 45 pitches and already 6, 7 strikeouts.
Let's see. Luis Robert up. See what he can do.
Well, maybe this is what La Russa had in mind pitching his winning pen, thinking, got a bunch of young guys who aren't going to call it quits yet.
Yeah. Luis Roberts reached base in all but one plate appearance so far in this series.
Wow. Well, this is a pitching matchup to end all pitching matchups right now. And Burns seems to have found it, and Morton looks to be about a pitch away from getting through 4 on 50 pitches here.
Wow. Yeah, it's quite the match.
And strike 3. All right. Well, Alex, I'm going to bounce, but thanks for having me on, man. And if you're throwing another panel together later in the series, let me know. Be happy to chime in and talk a little Brewers.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on. It's fun.
Yeah, for sure. Talk to you soon.
See ya. Let's see here with Robert, what he can do. Come on, Robert. He's fighting up there. 2-2 count. Another foul ball. Robert. Oh, another foul ball. Wow. Great at bat, Robert. Come on. Another foul ball. Wow. 8 pitches in this at bat. He's fouled off pretty much every one. Ground ball, double play, probably. No, he just gets one. But that hurts. Well, I'm going to hop off here for now. If anybody wants to come back later, I'll be back on later, maybe, with some other people. So, yeah, later.